Good morning to all of you. This is the second time I have the opportunity to communicate with all of you. As you all know, today we are facing one of the most difficult situations in our lives. The situation is grave because our country is going through the second wave of the COVID pandemic. This second wave is reported to be more contagious than the first wave, and a lot of people are getting infected by this virus. There are many people who have been infected in our company too. Such was not the case in the first virus. In India, to some extent, we have been responsible for the devastating second wave due to our complacency. We were under various myths and believed that we have high resistance to the virus, which is not the case. We celebrated our initial victory too soon and became complacent. We loosened our guard by not failing basic protocols like maintaining social distancing, wearing masks properly, washing our hands, and adopted a carefree attitude. The question which is on everybody's mind is, when will this pandemic end? Nobody has a reply to this question, but experts say that it is not going to vanish soon. It may change, maybe more severe, maybe more milder, but nobody knows. Since the virus is not going to vanish soon, all of us have no option but to live with it and strictly follow the COVID protocols, guidelines, and appropriate behavior. Now, the question which comes to your mind is, how do we live with this? My humble request is, please be 100% alert all the time. 100% guard for each second, for each minute of your breath, for the safety of yourself, your loved ones, and your colleagues. Only when each one of us, we 140 crore Indians, have the commitment, the will, and take the right actions to fight this pandemic, will India be free from this virus. Today, we have gathered here to listen to Swamiji on how to deal with this pandemic. I want to share with you the things that I have been practicing personally. First, take care of your mental health. Keep calm, be positive, keep smiling, be cheerful, keep your spirits high, focus on the good things God has given us. In your spare time, you can meditate, do breathing exercise, sing bhajans with your family, sing songs, play, etc. Your living and work areas must be ventilated to make the virus lose its sting. Second, take proper nourishment. Take Indian Ayurvedic herbs such as tulsi, giloy, ashwagandha, neem, haldi, etc. to boost your immune system. Third, keep your body fit. Do your exercises, yoga, etc. Take steam inhalations to keep your nose and lungs clear. A fit body will fight the virus. Fourth, the most important, please get yourself vaccinated at the earliest. During this period of crisis, I assure you that the company will support you financially to the best of its ability. We will make all efforts in ensuring that all of you get vaccinated at the earliest. Before I conclude, I will remind you of a dialogue from Hindi film Sholay. Gabbar Singh said, "Jo dar gaya, wo mar gaya." We have won so many wars in the past. We will win this battle too. Wish you good health and high spirits. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CMD San, for such motivational address and the guidance for the same. Now we will move further. And now we will join with the Swami Lakshmi Narayanji, and then we will start the discourse on that. So with your permission, we would like to start it. Thank you. So very soon we will start. Hari Om Swamiji.
Yeah, Hari Om everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. We can see you. Please, Swamiji.
Let's start with a prayer. I will pray and you can just listen to it. Let's all close our eyes. Breathe normally. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaveryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So good morning everyone. It's been quite some time, after many years, I think maybe 1.5 years or so, I'm meeting you all. And it is a little bit difficult situation. So we are doing it through this Teams platform. I think I'm audible to everyone, right?
Yes, Swamiji, you are audible to everyone, please.
Yeah, okay. So like in the end, Ajayji said, we have come across many challenges and we have won over them as well. So we will be able to win over this challenge also. Now, in fact, the prayer that I chanted, when I concluded, we concluded as Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So the Shanti was chanted thrice. So in the Upanishads, we have this Shanti part, which is chanted by both the Guru and the Sishya. Why they chant is when they are sitting down to learn the knowledge, there can be many obstacles which can come from cosmic or terrestrial or from within, right? So the cosmic disturbances are from far off, like thunder, lightning, etc. So the first chant is very loud. They say Shanti. Then the middle one is addressed to the obstacles in the external environment from the terrestrial world. So for that, they just chant not so loud, not in whisper also, in between. They say Shanti. And then when it comes to the disturbances within, we say whispering the Shanti, almost not even uttering it. So that's why we say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So the disturbances can come from the cosmic or the terrestrial or from within. These are the three challenges that can come. And what is the reason that the student and the teacher together chant this prayer? Or for that matter, any prayer? The reason is our mind, when it is made powerful, it can deal with any challenge. In fact, when we all collectively, from the bottom of our heart, we believe that we can overcome this challenge and we powerfully tell the challenge will run away. It's a question of how deeply we believe and chant. Our thoughts create our destiny. That's the reason why when we go to weddings and all that, everyone is provided with sumptuous food. And food is something that at that particular point in time, when you give them sumptuous food, everybody is eaten to their heart's content and they are contented. When they are contented, when you take their blessings, They have no ill feelings, nothing. With all full contentment, they say, may you live long together happily. So the idea is such thoughts will come true. Thoughts are very powerful. So now generally during this kind of a situation, pandemic, the very atmosphere outside is very toxic. Everybody is talking negative, negative, negative. It's very toxic. And there is a lot of this bad news that you keep hearing. In fact, the last 3-4 days itself, if you see in my life also, I have heard at least 3 or 4 deaths. Even this morning, I had called up one of my colleagues in the ashram. He lost his mother. He is living in the ashram. Like me, he is not moved out of the ashram and conducting classes. He is very much in the ashram. He is in charge of books and all. He is actually a doctor, same age as mine. And he lost his mother in Chennai. And she also fought the battle of COVID and she passed away. So every day we are hearing now somebody near and dear, either we lose them or we lose their parents or somebody who's known to us. So there is a lot of these kind of inputs that is coming from outside, and there is, what would you say, toxic environment, and the news channels and everywhere, this is what is being spoken about all the time. The vaccine is not available, and on top of it, people hoarding the oxygen cylinders, the remdesivir medicine, and this and that, all kinds of negative things we hear. So the whole thing is how we are going to face this. We still have the choice to be powerful. We don't have to become powerless. So today, the topic that we would be addressing in this situation is powerful versus powerless. How to be powerful in this kind of a crisis. It's an unprecedented crisis, isn't it? So how we can surpass this? Like we have, time and again quoted the poem, Even This Shall Pass Away by Theodore Tilton. He says everything will pass away, even this will pass away. It's a question of time. It's a matter of another maybe 2 years or maximum 3 years, I don't know, or maybe even before that, maybe 6 months. We don't know. When our country declared, lockdown and everything last March, none of us expected that it will continue for more than a year. But it is a fact that we have almost, 1 year is over and the second year we have entered. And still there is a lot more challenges. Now they are saying the second mutant, triple mutant, this variant, that variant, UK variant, South African variant, Brazilian variant, Indian variant. So, there's all kinds of information in the social media. Some are genuine, some are not genuine, they are fake. But the truth is, everything is there. And it's also a fact that we've been studying for so many years, especially in PPAP, that our thoughts create the destiny. So as people who have been exposed to this knowledge of Vedanta, how are we going to face this and come out successful and powerful? How we can be some kind of an example to the society in this crisis is how we should start thinking positively. I've always said, we need to hold on to knowledge. What will ultimately give us liberation from all these problems is knowledge. Everything else is a temporary solution. They'll work for a while. But if you have taken in the knowledge, you've digested it and you have got the wisdom, then you can deal with any situation. Then you will come out in flying colors in any situation. So therefore, we have fortunate enough in PPAP, we are exposed to this knowledge continuously. Very few organizations think that this knowledge is essential. And if you recollect, we've been doing it for so many years in PPAP. And slowly, now we find that such a scenario comes. And thank God we are equipped with little bit knowledge here and there. We are able to deal with it. Otherwise, it's a chaos. Everywhere it's a chaos. And especially now, I am in Chennai now, but my wife and son, they are in Faridabad. And I'm hearing that the situation in Delhi is not at all good. Not that Chennai is great, but Chennai is definitely better than maybe Delhi and Maharashtra. But here also they're saying the beds are not available and this and that. So how to remain powerful in this crisis? So we have the choice to be powerful or powerless. So today the topic will be powerful versus powerless. So I want to share the screen. Where is that?
Sir, at the corner side, the up.
Right. Okay, I got it. Can you see this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you can see the slide powerful versus powerless?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah, great. So the first thing we need to understand is life is a mystery. Matthew Arnold says, life is an arrow shot from darkness, flutters in light for a while and disappears into darkness. Now, where did we come from? How long we are going to be here for? When are we again going to disappear? Nobody knows. The same thing in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna talks about it as from unmanifest we come to manifestation, and from manifestation we go to unmanifestation. Now, if you look at it, we've been having these training sessions 1.5 years before in your office environment. Regularly, we've been meeting. So we were manifest to each other. Now, in between, for almost 1.5 years, we couldn't meet. So now again, thanks to these platforms, we could meet again. So again, we are manifest. So this is life. From unmanifestation, we'll come to manifestation. Again, we go to unmanifestation. Again, manifestation comes. So we are like that. From where did we come from? Where were we before we were in mother's womb? Now, little bit light is there. Okay, I'm born. I've been given a certain name. I'm growing up, and I'm at this age, and it's continuing. But it will again disappear one day. We don't know. So this is life. So the first thing is we need to understand and accept. Life is a flow, isn't it? It's a flow from birth to death. And every second we are dying and every second we are being born. This is the fundamental truth we need to understand. Even science tells us that every 7 years, our cells are replaced. Morning dies, noon born. Noon dies, evening born. Evening dies, night born. Night dies, morning born again. In this chain of birth and death, the day is maintained. So everything that has come into manifestation will have to go into unmanifestation. Now in India, we are all awake, right? But in America, now it's night time. Some of them have already gone to sleep. Some of them are preparing to go to sleep. So this is life. In this chain of manifestation and unmanifestation, you are maintained, I am maintained, everybody's maintained. So the first thing is, I need to understand this is life. When I understand that, then the next thing I'll understand is, in this life, I have a choice. Then I understand that the power of choice. Our life should be based on choices, not on chances. So you would be powerful if your life is based on choice. You will not be that powerful if it is based on chance. You will be powerless. So our destiny, what we are today, is the sum total of all our choices in the past. Now we took a decision 2 days ago that we will be meeting on this day at 10 o'clock and we'll be discussing about this. So it's a choice. It's a choice that we have made consciously to elevate our mood, to constructively think as to how we can face this pandemic, how we can face this, unprecedented challenge. So it's a choice that we made. So these kind of choices combined together is what is going to give us the future destiny. What we are today is because of the choices we made in the past. What we will be tomorrow will be based on the choice we make today, which will mix with our choices of the past, and that will create the destiny. If you have been painting yellow paint on the wall, now it will be yellow in color after 3-4 coats. If you want to change it to blue, your first coat of blue on top of that yellow will not make it blue. It will make it green. If you continue painting second and third coat, you will see the blue will get established. So it is extremely important that we continuously take the positive choices. And these kind of choices over a period of time changes our life. So we need to understand that I have the power. The power is with me. Yes, the disturbance is happening outside. Right? So it could be that somebody viciously spread this virus, or it could be an accidental spread. We have no idea. There can be any kind of conspiracy theory that's floating around everywhere. We can't take this side or that side. But the fact is, I am facing this crisis. So now how do I come out of it? How do I remain powerful? So first thing is crisis versus how we face it. Crisis is common to everyone, isn't it? This crisis is common to PPAP and to all the organizations which are around PPAP, around India, across the world, across the globe. Everybody, this crisis is a fact. Europe is facing this crisis, India is facing this crisis, America is facing this crisis, China is facing, everybody is facing. Now, how we face it? How as Indians we face it? How as PPAP group we face this? How as a family we face this crisis? How as an individual I face this crisis? That is in my hands. This is what we need to understand. You throw a hard potato into a boiling water, the potato which is hard becomes soft. You throw egg which is soft and loose, you throw it in the boiling water, it becomes hard. Boiling water being same, egg becomes hard, potato becomes soft. So crisis being same, one becomes powerful, one succumbs to the crisis. So what do we have to do? We have to first understand that the power is vested in me to be able to face it independent of what is happening to me. First, I must realize that. Then I should start learning from the past. I should resort to knowledge. I should resort to learning from the past. And I should never repeat the mistakes. The problem is we keep repeating the mistakes. We never learn. Whatever may be the crisis that we have faced, it may not be the same kind of crisis. But what were the lessons we learned from this crisis? Now, 1 year we have, we have been in this situation. Yes, now second mutant, third mutant, whatever it is, the situation is slightly different. But there are few lessons we have learned in the past, in this past 1 year, and generally also. So how do we implement them and never repeat the mistakes? If you are afraid of committing a mistake, you cannot grow. But if you are going on repeating the mistakes also, you cannot grow. So therefore, more than the outside viruses, we need to be guarded against the inner viruses. That's the problem. The inner virus is a very big problem. See, it's a fact. we are facing this virus called COVID-19. But there is another deeper virus which is within us, and that is fear. In fact, what is the fear that all of us are concerned now? That whether PPAP will survive in this crisis, whether I will survive in PPAP, whether my family will survive, whether I will survive in my family, maybe others will survive. Will I survive? So, end of the day, it comes to the fear of death. Fear of death. But we need to, that's why I started off today's session by saying death is a fact of life. We need to learn to face them. You cannot run away from the facts. Please understand this. If there is a cat sitting in front of your eyes and you deny that there's a cat sitting in front of my eyes and you close your eyes, and for 2 years you don't open your eyes, and after 2 years if you open the eyes, the cat would have eaten sufficient food in these 2 years and it would be of the size of a tiger. So by closing your eyes, you're not going to be better off. What will happen is when you close your eyes, only the cat would have become the tiger. Your problems only would have magnified. Your crisis would have become irreparable. So therefore, the problem is not the pandemic. The problem is the fear. This is what we need to first understand. First, we need to analyze and establish what the cause is. Only when we diagnose the cause can we deal with the cause and give a proper solution to it. Therefore, we are doing this analysis now. So the first thing is, more than the external virus, the internal virus is more dangerous, and that's fear. And there are many viruses. What are they? First of all, what is a virus? In electronic virus, what do they call virus as? What is the expansion? It's called vital information resource under siege. See, whenever there is a crisis, in fact, during crisis, you should be more calm and composed. If you're disturbed, to that extent, you cannot deal with the crisis. Only when you're calm and composed can you deal with the crisis better. That's why a leader, you should understand as a leader, during crisis, you should be more calm. When Arjuna got perturbed, when there was a crisis, Krishna asks him, Kutastva Kashmalamidam, Shamesam Upastitam, Anarya Jushtam Ashwagyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. Arjuna, from where did you get this kind of a delusion? How did you fall into this kind of an emotional stupor? And that too, especially in a crisis situation. This is the time to stand up and deliver. This is the time to be united. This is the time to show that we have the courage and conviction to face it. This is the time, as the head of the family, I need to come out and say, if there is somebody who is going to face the challenge, that will be me. Even if it means that the virus is going to attack me and I die, at least I'll protect my family. This is the time I need to come out and show and deliver. This is the time I need to set an example, not run away. So, what is this? What are these viruses within? Desire, anger, greed, delusion, arrogance, jealousy, fear, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, bhaya. These are the viruses inside. So when this kind of situation arises, and especially independently when you are sitting at home, you may be okay. But when you switch on the TV, or when you go out and listen to few people, and this information, that information, some of them are correct, some of them are misinformation, all these comes, and the collective madness takes over. And the collective madness takes over, you cannot think. You don't know what you're doing. You get extremely scared. The fear comes. And what you need to understand is, when the fear comes, Whether the crisis is true or false, the fear will create the crisis for you, another kind of crisis. The fear will induce certain chemicals in your body, and those chemicals will take over, and that will destroy you. That's why we say one is what is happening outside, other is what is happening within you. What is happening outside, especially this COVID-19, is a fact of life. It's there now. I can't change it now. But what is happening within me, I can change it. What is happening within PPAP, I can change it. If you remember, in my weekly or monthly sessions that I used to come, I used to tell you constantly there has to be a platform for knowledge. There has to be constant exchange of positivity. And especially during this crisis situation, if you extended positivities to each other, that will give you strength. So the whole point here is what is happening from outside, we have limited control. But what is happening within us, we have all the control. The day you surrender that control, you will be finished. So I need to understand that I am not going to surrender that to the others. That I will keep till the end. Till the end, I'll keep it. Like Abhimanyu in Mahabharata. The fellow was attacked by so many powerful fellows. He was very young. And he was surrounded by stalwarts, powerful people, with all the powerful weapons. And he had no weapons whatsoever. He still had the courage to fight all of them. He said, just give me one weapon, I will fight with all of you, even though the rule was that only one should fight with one. And it should be that if you are a sword fighter, you should only fight with a sword fighter. Archer should fight with archer. These kind of rules were there. But everything was flouted. He didn't say you guys are flouting the rules. He just said, give me one weapon, I will fight with all of you. He had the courage. Such a young boy, he had the courage. So what has happened to all of us? We are educated lot. We are degree holders, engineers. We are so much experienced. We have traveled across the world. And it is boiled down to this. Just one invisible virus to create that fear. We can't handle it. Are we so weak inside? So, therefore, we need to first clearly say there is something outside, there is something inside. Outside virus I can fight as long as I have the courage to fight the inside virus. दूसरों को जय से पहले खुद को जय करे. This is how we have been discussing all the while. You understand? So we need that inner Shakti. That inner Shakti is what this Vedantic knowledge is all about. We are now getting vaccinated to deal with the external virus, but we don't have the vaccination for the inner virus. The vaccination for the inner virus is this knowledge. So there is clear-cut analysis when you do, you understand there is something outside, there is something inside. So outside virus is COVID-19. Inside virus is fear. So what is the fear now that everybody goes through? Loss of job. I don't know if I will continue to have this job. I don't know if I'll continue to have wealth. Will my wealth reduce? The share value of PPAP. What was it in 2015? What is it now? How much share I have? So if the share value has come down, that much my wealth has come down. The share value has increased, that much my wealth has increased. All these are in paper, please understand. All these are in paper. Now you have the cars and motorbikes in your house. What are they doing? Doing nothing, just sitting in the garage. They are useful for transactional purpose. Mechanically holding them is not going to take you anywhere. What is the loss of a job? You can always get another job. Are you employable? Are you dependent on employment? You never cared about the fundamentals. I've always said this in the classes that we have conducted. Take care of the fundamentals. Strengthen the fundamentals. Isn't it? Loss of job, you will be worried only if you are unemployable. If you are employable, you will not be worried about the loss of job. I remember when I joined the ashram, as you all know, my background is engineering. And I was in marketing, kind of within inverted commas, what we use as Indians, settled job, this and that, everything was going on fine, as a great career ladder and everything. But I was inspired by Swamiji's talk and I wanted to join the ashram, I wanted to learn this. So I decided to quit the job. And everybody asked this question, what will happen to you after 3 years? Who will give you a job? How will you survive? What will happen to you? So what you need to understand is this: there's a difference between seeking employment and being employable. So if you are employable, no, you will not be denied the job. There's a quotation in English which says, a stone wall do not, what is that? Quotation goes like this. A stone that is fit for the wall would not be found on the way. A stone that is fit for the wall would not be found on the way. So if you're fit for the wall, you will not be found on the way, you will be there. So we need to focus on those things. And similarly, with reference to wealth, what is this wealth? Like I said, you have the wealth of the car. You may have 5 cars, you may have 2 cars, you may have 1 car, you may have 1 motorbike, 2, 3 motorbikes at home. But what is the use of all of them now? They are all sitting in the garage. They are of no use. So it is only for transactional purpose. It is for you to go from your home to the office. Nothing else. Or to go to the market or club or wherever you're going. That's all it is. So wealth is a commodity that is used to exchange for something and transact in this life. So if I understand it that way, going up or down, little bit of my bank balance going down, little bit of my bank balance going up, these things will not bother me as long as I am understanding and placing the right value. Then this fear of losing the family members. So please understand, like I said, yes, it is tough. It's easy to talk. I know that. See, that's why I said, right now the situation in my family is, me and my mother, we are in Chennai. My wife and my son, they are in Faridabad. Right? Now they can take a flight and come here. But people and doctors, everybody advise that it's better that they don't take the flight and come here because you never know. So let them be there. So within this, you have all the concerns. You make phone calls, you give them, contacts. You tell them, like for example, I have an extended family, PPAP. So if I'm in trouble, I can always call any one of you. Right from Ajay ji to any one of you I can call, and I'm sure you will definitely help me whatever you can. So, end of the day, we need to think big. All the time thinking small. Me and my family. While you have the responsibility towards your family, you need to understand. You have a PPAP family and you have your personal family. And this is the time we need to understand it from a bigger angle, not get into that smaller circle again and again. So these are facts. It's possible that we may lose some family members. But see, like we say in Vedanta, if you are not prepared for the eventuality, you are a fool. But if you are prepared for the eventuality, you are a philosopher. But if you are expecting the eventuality, you are a pessimist. So do you want to be a fool? Do you want to be a philosopher? Or do you want to be a pessimist? That's in your hands. It is true that somebody can pass away. It's not necessarily because of this pandemic. It could be because of anything. Heart attack. Could be because of many things. See, like when now IPL is going on, now suddenly you find some of the players, they become injured. And that's it. They have to go back. They cannot participate. This is life. If you come to sport, it's possible that you can get injured and you may lose it. It's possible. Tiger Woods is met with an accident and nobody knows whether you'll be able to come back. We don't know. So when you are in life, death is certain. Bhagavad Gita says, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mritasya. That which is born will have to die. That which dies will resurface again in some form or the other. You eat the banana and it resurfaces in your body as energy. And with that energy, you do something. So you throw the peel on the ground and it goes as a manure to the plants, and it comes out as another flower, another fruit. So this recycling continues. So when I understand these things, when I grow to that height, then losing of the family member will not affect me. See, that's what I'm saying. One is losing the family member. Other is the fear of losing the family member. I am telling you to deal with the fear. So if I keep myself calm, then I will do the right thing to my family members. So like from here, I keep instructing them, take only hot water, take every now and then lime juice and this steam inhalation, even though they are not affected by COVID, thank God. But still you need to keep yourself, but always try not to go out unnecessarily. If you go, wear the mask, have the sanitizer with you, try and keep the safe distance, whatever within our controls, we do that. So instead of getting worried, see, let us face death or loss of job or loss of wealth when it happens. Why you want to think about it and suffer? This thinking about it and suffering is what we call as samsara. Pain is not samsara. The thinking of pain and suffering is samsara. Losing the job is not samsara. But thinking of it and worried about it, anxious about it, that is samsara. So this pain of suffering, what will happen to me, I don't know, that is, and loss of life, these are the, fear. Ultimately, when you say fear, what are you bothered? Finally, I will not be there. Maybe I won't be there. God knows. So this fear is torturing all of us. So we need to understand what is the cause of the fear. And in Vedanta, we have always said this. Ignorance causes fear, isn't it? Unknown causes fear. I don't know. When you have to go in the dark, the unknown is scary. The future is unknown. Even before it was unknown, isn't it? It is not that it was all known. You can never know the future. But now this pandemic is making it more obvious. So suddenly we say, oh my God, what will happen? I don't know. Will I lose my job? My son is in 12th standard. Now, are they going to have the exams or not? If they're not going to have the exams, where will he get admission? What will happen? Because all my dreams, all these ignorance, unknown facts causes me fear. And the other thing that causes fear is otherness. When I go to China, when I go to South Africa or any other country, Africa, you see the black guy, so tall, so, big, with thick lips, you get scared. You come back to India, you have the oneness with the Indians, you have no fear. Otherness causes fear. Oneness doesn't cause fear. And selfishness and egocentric desires causes fear. Me, me, me. The fellow who's all the time thinking about me, me, me will be always suffering. The fellow who thinks what I can do for you will never suffer mentally. See, physically things will happen, that's different. But mental suffering we are talking about. And destructive nature. If you all the time have the nature to cause destruction to others, like if you see cow is not thinking about destroying anybody. It's calm. Anybody walking by, calm. Vehicle is going, calmly sitting. Whereas a lizard, which is constantly eating, destroying mosquitoes, it is tortured with the thought. And if you bang the table, if the lizard may be on the wall, if you bang the table, the lizard will run. Why? Because it's having destructive nature. So if you're too much of insecure and too much of fear, these are the causes: ignorance, otherness, selfishness, destructive nature. And one more thing, if you want to add, which comes as a result of ignorance, which is attachment. I'm attached finally. I'm attached to my job. I'm attached to my children. I'm attached to my wealth. I'm attached to my body. I'm attached to my position, this, that, life, everything. That attachment causes fear. So therefore, how do we deal with this fear? First thing we need to do is bring a distance between you and the fear. Sit and analyze. Analyze the cause of fear. What is causing fear? Was it ignorance, or otherness, or selfishness, or destructive nature, or attachment, which is an outcome of ignorance? What is this? Analyze the cause of fear. For that, you need to be calm. You need to be composed. And then you got to eliminate the reasons for fear. Got to eliminate them one by one. If you know how to deal with them, deal with it. Otherwise, talk to people who will help you to deal with it. Eliminate the reasons for fear. Now, for example, some people may have the fear that if you get vaccinated, this problem may happen. So talk to 2-3 people who don't have to go and rush to get the vaccination done. Talk to people, find out the facts, talk to the doctors. Can they go wrong? Yes, they can go wrong. That's okay. But somewhere down the line, with more information from the right sources, you will become more confident to face the challenge. Then, most importantly, to face the fear is the very important thing, and that's the main solution. And that I put it as conscious graded exposure. See, I'll give you one small instance. My son, we live in an apartment complex, so we are on the 4th floor. And my son always took the lift. He never got scared in lift from childhood. Even when we go to the malls and all, he was very comfortable taking the elevators. He's used to, those things from childhood. Now, escalator, everything, nothing is bothered about. Suddenly what happened one day, when he was playing, I'm talking about 2-3 years ago, when he was playing in the ground downstairs with his friends, he finished it and he was coming in the lift alone with one of his friends. They were only, now he is like 12 years old, so he was like 9 years old or so that time. So 2 of these guys who are about 9-8 years old, they were coming in the lift, and suddenly the lift stopped. And they got scared. And after 5 minutes or so, the lift started working. So they came out to the next floor and they came running. And I didn't know this. After that, few days, he's been somehow avoiding going into the lift, even when I'm there. He said, no, let's walk down, let's climb the stairs. He's not telling me the reason. Then I kind of, spoke to him. I said, hey, you always took the lift. Why suddenly you're trying to avoid lift? It was not during Corona. I can understand if it was during Corona. He said, no, I don't want to come. Then I asked him, then he said, this happened. Then I said, I am there with you now. What is the problem? Come with me. Let's go from first floor to the ground floor by lift. Just purposely, consciously put him back to face the challenge. So consciously got to face the challenge, graded exposure with the knowledge. And then work on the fundamentals I told you. Work on your strengths, being employable always. Continue improving your knowledge. The fundamentals. What is it now during this pandemic? What do they say? The fellow with more immunity will survive compared to the fellow with less immunity. So you need to do walking, jogging, pranayama, yoga, whatever. Now, if you can't go for walking, jogging, do pranayama at home. Especially, it helps in dealing with stress. So, fundamentals, whatever it is, healthy food, protein-rich food, be with family, spend together with positive things, watch a movie and have a good discussion with them, play with your children, not computer games, physical games you can play inside. So when you work on the fundamentals, then you will be able to deal with it, not otherwise. So analyze the cause of the fear, eliminate the reasons for fear, conscious graded exposure, work on the fundamentals. Always you find out whenever we are getting into trouble, we would have disturbed the fundamentals. I always ask wherever I go, whichever company I discuss these kind of subjects, I always ask the chairman, the managing director, the top guys, what is your exposure to loan? What is your exposure to loan? When this kind of situation comes, how will you face as a company? How will you pay back the loan? Right? Similarly, as individuals, what is your exposure to loan? You never do the proper analysis and simply take loan. Even I get messages every day, pre-approved loan, pre-approved loan. Now, God knows on what basis they pre-approve these loans. And they call me, this, that. You need to sit on the fundamental. So if you are going through certain crisis mentally, I'm not talking about physical. See, if you have some problem externally, that you got to analyze and see how you can take help from others. If it's a medical issue, then, like for example, we also face this. I'm sitting in Chennai. My family is there, as I told you. He broke his finger one day, right finger. He is now also plastered. He broke his right finger. So now we have to take him to the hospital. So I told my wife, go with the driver, take all the precautions and go. If I was there, I would have gone. What else to do? Yes, it's avoidable going to hospital, but you can't avoid now. He's broken his finger. So they went, they're dealing with it. So work on the fundamentals and face the fears. After analysis, then you'll be better off. And last but not the least, we started with the prayer. Let me end with the prayer. It's called serenity prayer. I've quoted this many times. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Give me the courage to change the things I can. This is what I said. COVID-19 situation I cannot change. But I can change what? The fear from within. This virus I can deal with. Outside virus, doctors, scientists, they are dealing with. The administrators, the politicians, they are dealing with it. So the inner virus I need to deal with. So with reference to the outer virus, I need serenity. With reference to the inner virus, I need courage, the wisdom to know the difference, the clarity to know the difference. So if I have this serenity, courage and wisdom, I will be able to deal with any situation and come out in flying colors. So with this, I would conclude my lecture, my talk. Now we can take up any questions you have. I know that Deepesh has already sent me a few questions yesterday. So if you want, we can take up those questions or we can take up any questions.
Yeah, Hari Om Swamiji. First of all, I would like to say thank you very much to give us such beautiful motivational and I would like to say spiritual care type information to us how to deal with it. And you also talked about what is the real reason by virtue of which we got panicked and got the anxiety on the same. So thank you very much on it. And now we will move further. And I believe that everyone is get the beneficial of it, and they will also able to tackle this situation by themselves, by the inner strength. We have next further question and answer session. So definitely because as the time is a little bit less, so we will go as per the settled. We received many questions, Swamiji, this time, and out of that we collected and we summarized them in a few questions in a standard point of view. So that's why we will go one by one. I would like to ask first question to you through it. First question is, Swamiji, is how to handle this pandemic situation when you are listening problems and sometimes bad news from your nearest, dearest friends and colleagues. Knowingly or unknowingly, bad news are striking repeatedly in minds and creating anxiety. How to deal with this situation?
This is exactly what I was talking, right? When I was talking, what comes to you, you have no choice. How you face it, you can choose. Even some areas you have choice what comes to you. First of all, my advice, in fact, during this pandemic, few companies have approached me. To them also I have given lectures. First thing I say is limit your social media consumption. If possible, zero. possible 0. If not, limit it. I don't read all the forwards. See, I'm also in WhatsApp group. It's unavoidable conducting these Vedanta classes. So I'm in certain WhatsApp groups. You cannot read all the forwards. You should not. In fact, I tell my friends, don't forward. But if it's forwarded in the group, I can't help it. I don't read everything. One day, if I have time, maybe I'll read here and there. And similarly, I don't forward. Just because I get something immediately, I don't forward. So, first thing is, you got to have control over the inputs. Bad news is coming. How will the bad news come unless you switch on the TV? Unless you keep reading all the WhatsApp. So you have a choice to go and watch some comedy channel or news channel. Yes, it is true. There is virus. It is true there is second mutant, third mutant, this, that. How many people died in India knowing what are you going to do? That is for people who are into other kind of work. It's not for you and me to know every day discussing. Today is cross 3 lakhs. Today is cross 5 lakhs. Today is cross 1 million. How does it matter? And you are not bothered about that 5 million. Will you be one of that 5 million? That's your problem. That's my problem. I don't want my family to be one of that 5 million. I don't want me to be one of that 5 million. I don't want any PPAP guys to be in one of that. God knows. Like I told you, we don't know. So once I understand the fundamentals of life, there are things I cannot change. Impossible. I can't change. Can I prevent death? I'll ask you a simple question. Can you decide only this much I'll grow? You can't. You can't decide that. Now, I am at a certain age and my hair has turned grey. I have to accept that. Oh, it's grey or it's falling. It's falling because I am at a certain age. Yes, maybe if I had taken care of it, spent more time and took care of it, maybe it will be black and it maybe I'll have more hair. Okay, fine. So what? So the point I'm trying to say is the moment we understand these things and deal with it and follow physical and mental exercises. The physical exercises, you know, yoga, pranayama, walking, jogging, and all that. As much as possible, healthy diet. And I have time and again said, never compromise on your sleep. Never. You need to have balanced sleep. And I've always said, play, sports. Even in an organization, I said to create, if possible, some kind of a sports activities. So if you keep yourself physically active, and especially yoga pranayama is very, very helpful. And then mentally, every day, little knowledge, studying, thinking, reflecting. And then on top of it, if you spend time with your children playing as a family, if you participate in cooking, cleaning, these are things which will be positive. So if you do that, then you can deal with the situation. Otherwise, you will be repeatedly hearing only those things. Because what else is there? And we have 24 hours news channels nowadays. So they'll have to repeat the same thing again and again. They'll have to fill up 24 hours. What will they do? They'll go to Punjab and say, this happened in Punjab. They'll go to... So we have to see that as much as possible, I don't go out, or my family members don't go out, or my friends don't go out as much as possible. And if we go also, we wear the mask, we follow all the necessary things, and then still things can happen, let's face it. We may not die out of corona if we are vaccinated, maybe we will die of something. So now, initially, when the corona situation came, what did the government do? They said we were closing down, lockdown. Because there were less beds, there is that, they were preparing for it. And then they opened up because economy. So because then there was a necessary choice that we need to take, whether we are going to die of economic crisis or is it going to be because of corona. So now the government said, we cannot afford to affect the economy. So as much as possible, we'll do this and that temporary lockdown here and there, but things will continue. So you better be careful. You follow the fundamentals. That's what the government says. So therefore, how do I deal with this? I deal with this way. Otherwise, I will suffer. So this is what I covered in the talk, in the lecture. If I follow the fundamentals, then I won't suffer. Otherwise, mentally I will suffer.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Swamiji. Our next question is the how to keep ourselves balanced, calm, and not feeling guilty when you are helpless in this pandemic, when your nearer, dearer, or friend look on you for help, and things are not in my hand to help the requestee. What to do, please?
See, whether it is pandemic or not, first thing I need to understand is I cannot help everyone. First thing is, I should not think that I am the savior of the world. No. World is not dependent on me. I am dependent on the world. I cannot solve everybody's problem. But whatever is in my hands, first thing I should live intelligently enough to make sure that because of me, the problems are not there. For example, if you wash your dishes it's a very gross example I'm giving. If you wash your dishes every day before going to sleep and your kitchen is clean, then the cockroach will not come, or it will be very minimum. But you do not wash your vessels every day. You will put your plates with all the food items and everything on the sink, and obviously cockroach will come. So as much as possible, first I need to live a hygienic life. When I say hygienic, I don't mean only physically. I mean mentally, I need environmentally everywhere. Then within my limits, whatever help I can, I will do. If I can do financial help, I'll do. If I can do physical help, I'll do. If I can impart knowledge, I'll impart. But there are situations where I cannot help. I should understand I am a small circle. World is big. I cannot. So I should not feel guilty about it. I should say, okay, whatever help am I doing or not? Iniquity there shall be, says Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ period itself, there was iniquity. Jesus Christ himself was crucified. And during Krishna, there was crisis. Draupadi was disrobed in the parliament. It's not happening nowadays. Woman's modesty was compromised. So, therefore what I need to understand is, world means good and bad will be there. Always. The proportion may vary. Good may be 75, bad may be 25. Bad may be 75, good may be 25. But as much as possible, I try to lift the good. But I cannot completely change it. Swami Ramtita therefore says, reforming the world is like straightening a dog's tail. I cannot. There are people who could not save their own children, their own parents. They could maximum take them to the hospital. What can you do? Now the situation is such that once they have gone to the hospital, if they had corona, the hospital won't allow you to meet them. Because they have to see that it doesn't spread to you. So you cannot. Now they are in the hands of the hospital. Some of them come back, some of them don't. Even one of my colleagues' mother passed away. Even he was hospitalized, she was hospitalized, but she died, he survived. So we need to understand there are helpless situations. Why? Because we are small. We are not big. You should not think that I can save the world. No. That doesn't mean I stop doing my bit. I do whatever I can. And I genuinely do it. First thing, I don't cause the problem. Like in many places, what people do is, you go and plunder the the natural resources, and then people suffer. Then you give them 5 rupees, 10 rupees. What kind of charity is that? So you do business in such a way that you don't plunder the natural resource. Then secondly, in spite of it, there will be still people suffering. So whatever best you can do, you do. Whether it is material or physical or emotional or intellectual, whatever you can do, you do. But in spite of all that, you should understand that you're a small circle, the world is a big circle. Once I understand this, I have this clarity, then I will not have mental guilty when I'm not able to help. Is it genuinely you cannot help, or you are refusing to help? That you need to analyze. If it is genuinely you are not in a position to help, what you can do?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Swamiji. We will move to the next question. This is whether this pandemic is act of God for balancing the nature, or is it a human-made problem? If it is human-made problem, then why innocent people are suffering?
See, we cannot know whether it is God made or human made. All kinds of conspiracy theories are floating. Okay, nobody is going to come to any conclusion. It's not going to happen that easily. I don't think so. So instead of giving into this kind of discussions, whether it is God made or this, firstly, there is no God making anything. This is what we've been studying in Vedanta for so many years. God is not sitting and sending all these viruses to set the things right, to balance it. Nature is working. People also float this theory that human beings have been slaughtering the animals. Now it's time for the animals to set it right. Listen, they may be right, they may be wrong. But what we need to understand is, your question is, if it's human made, then why innocent people are suffering? Like I told you, there are crises at the external level. There are viruses at the external level. There are viruses inside. You have the option to deal with the virus inside. If you do not deal with virus inside, whether you are innocent, whether you are knowledgeable or not, if you are not executing it, you will suffer. In other words, what you are saying is, sir, I didn't do anything, but still the virus is entering me because you didn't keep yourself strong in your immunity. Virus is not thinking whether you are good, bad, and entering you. You may be Jesus Christ. But if your immunity is low, it will enter. It is entering everybody. If your immunity is low, you will succumb. So it is your choice which you should have exercised to become strong. If you didn't do it, at least do now to become strong. Take those choices. Don't say I'm innocent, I should not be struck. You will be struck. You will get affected. Because you're not following the fundamentals. You're not washing your hands. You're not wearing the mask. You're saying I'm innocent. I've been all the time doing prayer from morning till night all this while. But still virus is entering me. Understand the truth of life. Virus will enter the body and if your immunity is low, you will not be able to fight it. This is the truth of life. Just because you are Sri Krishna, avatar born in the world, doesn't mean virus will not enter. So what is the logic in saying I'm innocent, people suffer? People are suffering because they are not wearing mask, because they are not taking healthy food, they are not exercising, because they are not following social distance. Maybe, I'm not saying it is. There are so many reasons like this. So if you don't follow that, you will suffer. It doesn't matter whether you're innocent. That's why we said passively good people will suffer. Passively bad people will suffer at the hands of aggressively bad people. To deal with them, you need to be aggressively good. So if you have a strong intellect and if you follow the fundamentals and strengthen your inside, you will not suffer. When I say you will not suffer, I don't mean virus will not attack you. Virus may still attack you, we don't know. But inner virus will not attack you. That's all I'm saying. Is that okay?
Absolutely, absolutely, Swamiji. It is now more clear about the same. Our next is going on. In the current scenario, how to motivate team to come on the work? Because they are preferring to stay at home or going to their native places. How we can do it, please?
See, first of all, motivation, right? When I say motivation, what does it mean? It means to make people move. How can you make people move? You can make people move by dangling a carrot, so they are attracted for that carrot and they come. They move. Or I keep a stick, I beat them, then they move. This is how they deal with animals. Carrot, and stick. But there is another method, which is Sattvic. What is that? Love, identification, setting example and being inspirational. So, to make people come to work as an organization in your HR with your top people, you need to come up with, certain things which instills confidence in them. So, in fact, if your work environment, are you able to give, I know your business is such that you need to come to the office and manufacture. You can't help it. That's the kind of model yours is. You are not into a software business. So we need to understand. But at the same time, you can only run the business if people are alive. So therefore, as much as possible, the protective environment, this and that, and instilling confidence, and then, with love, with genuine love, not somehow make them come and then do the work. No, not that kind of a thing. You've got to instill the confidence. Once that is there, then they will come. But you need to do that. And if you yourself think that at this moment it's not good for them to come, we should be ready to stop that also. Because the situation is so bad that it's better off that they don't come. Then you tell them that. So see how best you can. I know this in another company where I have been giving lecture, but there I don't give lecture to the people. I give lecture to the top management, only the top management, only few people, maybe 2, 3, and they are having business in Maharashtra. Their head office is in Delhi. Their factory is in Maharashtra. In fact, they've been inviting me to come to Maharashtra to give lecture to the factory employees, management there. So, but now in this situation, we cannot go. So, I'm only addressing the top management. Now, this top management person who's been in touch with me regularly, we've been together working and taking care of certain things. So, what he did is, sir, whether it is applicable to your business, I don't know. But what you can do, how much you can do, if you do that, then it's possible. So he did what he did is, he kind of, gave them certain accommodation nearby in the atmosphere itself. And then the bus, like how the cricketers are playing IPL now, they are in a bubble. So you need to create a bubble now. If you create a bubble, then it's possible. You might have to create a bubble. And you cannot force them to come into the bubble. Like some cricketers are most welcome to come into the bubble, and if they say no. In fact, recently I read in the news, one fellow said bubble fatigue. Because bubble means they cannot meet anybody else. They can only meet the few people there. So bubble fatigue ho gaya, so he's going back. Some Australian or some English cricketer, I don't remember. So bubble fatigue. So we need to create the bubble. So he created that bubble. And the employees had that confidence and they came. So I would say we need to do this with identification and analysis of the current scenario and what is possible within our limitation. Taking all this into consideration, we have to come up with some kind of a methodology and do this. Because otherwise it's tough. Otherwise it's really tough. Because it involves a lot of family members, and then health of the family members, education of the family members, this, that. So many things are involved. So this is the time we need to see. The top management needs to sit and discuss and see how we can instill the confidence and do this. We need to create a bubble. Then it's possible. The bus that you use to bring them where they stay, if you can make it as a bubble, then of course it's possible. So if you kind of test everybody and nobody is positive and and then create a bubble, and in the bubble also create the environment where they can every day do exercise, yoga, do whatever, use this platform, whatever you can use. But end of the day, create a bubble with love. Then it's possible.
Thank you. Thank you, Swamiji. And now this is our last question for this session. And almost you have also discussed and you have tell us in detailed way in our first session. But I think I should put it here so you can conclude also on it. And the question is how to keep motivated and balance family life.
See, now, especially when you're sitting at home, not everybody is blessed with a 3 bedroom, 5 bedroom, so each one can be in 1 bedroom. Maybe you just have 1 bedroom house or 2 bedroom house. You have your elderly parents, you have your wife, and maybe her parents also, and then your children, maybe some of your siblings. So it's difficult to have space, but at the same time, you need to work from home. Sometimes you lose your cool and all that. So that's why it's extremely important to share the responsibilities. These are the times to share the responsibilities and understand that everybody is kind of going through uncertainty. So maybe your wife is stressed, maybe you are stressed, maybe your parents are stressed, your children are stressed, because children are also constantly for last 1 year, they've been looking at the screen and learning. Now they're also stressed because they're not able to go and play. So like I said, within the family, all of you sit together and play, listen to some prayers, bhajan, sing, get together and do things. These are not times to kind of, show our backs and sit together. See, we are sitting, there are two ways you can sit now. You can face each other and sit, or your backs can be together and you can be sitting. The problem is many houses, I'm seeing people keeping their backs together and sitting. When you're keeping your backs together and sitting, you're sitting close, but you're not really close. There's a very big ego. So we should say, whatever may be my ego, I need to drop that and come together. What are your problems? Okay, fine. She was tired and she probably lost it. It's okay. Or he was tired and he probably lost it. Pressure from the work, pressure from this, all these kind of issues are there. So once I understand, I come together, then it's possible. So like I said, light-hearted environment, as much as possible, keep it. Never compromise on your exercises. Never compromise on, your vitamins, minerals, and your healthy food, and try to share the responsibility and play with them. Play with your children. Become children. Play with your family. If possible, engage them. Be with them. Spend time with them. Schedule it. I'm not saying the whole day. Schedule karo. When you do that, and even first thing, cut all the negatives as much as all of you sitting together and watching TV. And then there is fight coming. So talk, discuss. Say these are the times that we should not get into these negativities. So let's get into positive things, not negative. If there are TV programs, let's watch positive things. So use all the methods, but come together. Then you can balance, not otherwise.
Thank you. Thank you, Swamiji, for the same. And now still we need and we, our heart says that we should listen more from your side also. But as the time is going on and it's not permits us, so very quickly, without wasting our time, I request first of all Khanna-san to say a vote of thanks first of all towards you. Khanna-san, over to you.
Hari Om Swamiji, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thanks to you for addressing us today. It was very quickly we made this program and we requested you, and thanks to you for accepting our request and making this to happen today. Thanks to all my colleagues who have made it from this side, all arrangement for this lecture to happen. I will summarize in only few things, only your words only. First, I thank CMD Saab. He gave his advice today morning. How do we conduct ourselves during the COVID period? He mentioned about protocols and SOPs. We will take care, and we promise him that everybody who has listened to him today will follow his instructions, ideas. Other side is your side, very powerful today, and as usual, always very interesting also. And this situation, how to handle and how to become stronger inside. So your talk starting from powerful versus powerless, the knowledge will ultimately be the tool for overcoming the situation, and birth and death will continue, and living a life of choice rather than chance. and it's a common crisis kind of situation. We should try to handle our inside. Outside situation is common for everyone. Learning from past, and finally you concluded for the fear of the death. And finally, it's a fear, and which has to be overcome. So inner Shakti, fear, fundamentals, how to take care. Very nicely you have covered, sir, today. So I thank you very much. I will not say all the things because so many things you mentioned. We have to listen to you again and again. Your today's talk, we have recorded it, and we will take benefit of your talk more often, and repeatedly whatever you have said today. We will be benefited. Members who have joined this course today, of course, they are directly benefited, and those who could not join due to the limitation of the communication facilities, so there will be a display of your lecture on daily basis, either through in the canteen or in the common areas, so that they also listen to you. We are thinking of even making the some kind of translation, or that also will happen. And those who are familiar with the Hindi language, they'll also listen to your lecture. So overall, very nicely, sir. Thank you very much. I should say, and I should also thank my colleagues, leaders who have organized this entire program, IT people, Dipesh San, of course, Deepak San also, IT team. They have taken this initiative. We are all thankful to him. Thanks to CMG Saab, thanks to MD Saab for helping us to go through this program. Swamiji, I don't know how many, how do I thank you? I mean, we are it's a very powerful lecture. I listen to every word of yours. So I think all of us will be will be benefited by your powerful talk today. Thank you very much. Om Shanti, sir.
Thank you, Kannaji. Thank you, Ajayji. Thank you, Kannaji, Deepashji, everybody. I just want to conclude this class by chanting one small line which Prema Pandurang ji used to chant. This will be good for your English and Hindi audience also. Very, very simple line she used to sing. She used to say, Re manu tu kahe kabra, tere saath bihari hai. Re manu tu kahe kabra, tere saath bihari hai. That's all, So don't worry, there are laws, nothing will go wrong. You work, be positive, always keep yourself positive, be together. Any issues, there must be one pointed person in your organization whom they can contact. Immediately all the help which is possible will be rendered. If that confidence is there, people will be able to get together. I'm sure we'll all come successful in this and hope to see you all soon in personal class rather than this kind of class through the platform. But keep your confidence going, and God is great. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Swamiji. So with that note, we close our today's discourse. Stay safe, be healthy, and have a great day. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Devasan.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you for your participation. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.